Hey there, I'm Sean LaRue with Neo Home Loans. I'm having a great day and I hope you are too. Today I am joined with Shea at Vantage IRAs. And Shea, so happy you were able to join us today.
Thank you, Sean. This is so fun. It's so good to see you again and be on this platform. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good time. And the reason why you're here is because, my dad and I, we were talking about a bunch of different investing options and some different things. But before we get into that, let's back up a little bit. Shay and I met what several years ago, 4 or 5, 6 years ago, um, through HomeSmart, and we're in the real estate industry. And we recently reconnected, and there's just some really great opportunities out there for people who have their money in some IRAs or 401ks. And so we've been reconnecting through that. Um, Shay, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came to be at Vantage.
Yes, of course. Yes. So I was, if I look familiar to some of you in the real estate industry, I was with HomeSmart on the corporate staff for 8 years right here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I kind of oversaw recruiting. I was the director of national agent expansion when I kind of decided I needed to move on and find a new challenge. And I happened to be at the same time kind of on my own financial journey. And then I was researching and just really, you know, really getting interested more and getting serious, I should say, getting more serious about my savings and my finances and plans that my husband and I have for the future. And I kind of became obsessed with this industry, with the alternative investing industry. And I connected with, all the people here at Vantage. And not only did I become a client first because I loved what I heard as I was investigating what to do with my 401k money that I had been so hard working and saving for so long, that then I ended up working here. And part of the reason that I'm here as well is I'm so passionate about helping everyone increase their financial literacy. I think that's a really huge opportunity. We are not taught this in school. Many of us do not understand investing. Many people are uh, actually have a feel like talking about money is really heavy or stressful, or they don't understand it, and it's no one's fault. It's just our society is, we're not taught a lot of this stuff. So our mission advantage really aligned with mine, and that we are just very passionate about educating and increasing people's financial literacy, and just making sure that everyone knows what their options are, especially obviously when it comes to investing. So we're going to dig into that today about the self-directed IRA part. But that's how I ended up here. And it's a perfect kind of transition for me. And that I worked with so many agents and brokers and investors over the last 10 years in my career. And being in an alternative investment company, our biggest assets are in real estate. And so you can imagine most of our clients, a lot of our clients, including HomeSmart, leadership team, agents from all different brokerages, are clients of Vantage and are investing in their retirement funds and things that we're going to talk about today. So I found that very intriguing, and it just, was a really good fit.
Well, I'm really happy you're here. And one of the reasons you're here is because I know real estate, my family knows real estate. It sounds like you're really into real estate. And I think that there are just so many different vehicles you can use. Um, I don't know a lot about, stocks and bonds. I know a little bit, enough to be dangerous with crypto, and it's still kind of an interesting market. Um, but what do we do, and what are the options if you have a 401k or an IRA? And so that's what we're going to get into today. Um, and what's really interesting is combining those qualified assets, meaning your retirement tax-free vehicles, and investing them in real estate without liquidating them, without taking the tax hit today in order to grow that even more tax free. So help us out a little bit. What is a self-directed IRA? And help us understand a little bit about those basics.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm going to try to break this down in the most simple terms because it's shocking to me. Well, I guess it's not a surprise that a lot of people don't know what a self-directed IRA is, and I'm going to get into that as well. But essentially, a self-directed IRA is an IRA, so it's an individual retirement account. It's a government regulated account. Anyone listening on this call, if you have a current IRA or you have a 401k or you have an HSA or 403b, those are all government regulated retirement accounts. A self-directed IRA is truly just meaning that you have that same IRA, same contribution limits, same rules and regulations by the government, but instead of investing that money into stock market based investments like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, most people that we talk to, including myself, Sean, I think you too, anybody that had an old 401k or has IRAs invested, 99% of people have it invested in traditional brokerages, meaning those stocks, bonds, the investments are your money is invested in Wall Street. So
Right.
all stock market based products. A self-directed IRA, which is what we manage here at Vantage, is an IRA that allows you to invest in anything outside of the stock market. So just think of all of the assets. I mean, really the list is endless what the government allows us to invest our money in, but just to keep it really simple, a self-directed IRA is an IRA that allows you the investor, you the saver, to invest your money outside of the stock market, really into any asset that you want, that the government says we can. So the list is really endless, but it's, for example, it's things like real estate, it's any sort of real estate project, it's residential, commercial, rental, a fix and flip, any sort of project, a real estate mutual fund. You can loan your money to someone raising capital in the real estate industry or loaning your money into a startup company, any type of company. So those are kind of, the most popular assets. I won't go into all of the different assets, but those are the most popular that we have, that we see at our company. But in a nutshell, it's the same type of IRA. It's just putting you in the driver's seat to take control. You'll hear me say that word several times on the call today. It's allowing you to take control over your finances, over your savings, rather than allowing your financial advisor or whatever traditional brokerage your money is in, whether it's in an IRA or 401k, and they are kind of dispersing your money around into different stock market based investments where you're hope I don't lose any money, hope the stock market doesn't fluctuate. This account at Vantage or an alternative company allows you to invest that money in any type of asset outside of the stock market to avoid the volatility of the stock market, to have potential greater gains, any sort of investment strategies that you have outside of Wall Street.
That's great. So what I hear you saying is that your 401ks or your financial planner managed IRAs right now are kind of custom tailored to different stocks or mutual funds that agree with your risk tolerance, but they're in the stock market in those funds. And a self-directed IRA allows you as the owner of your retirement select different vehicles in order to loan that money out, and you get to choose how that money's kind of split up and what funds or assets you're making a return on. Is that right?
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
really, why someone would want a self-directed IRA and why you would want to invest out of the stock market. It's really not for everyone, but for those that really do see this opportunity, it's such a powerful, magical tool because you can really, if you're someone that's listening and you are a controller, you like to have control of your money, you want to know exactly what, have a better anticipation of what your gains are going to be, what those, returns are going to be, and just have a better idea of it's control. It's control. So a
Yeah.
self-directed IRA is perfect for someone that wants control, and it's great for someone that wants to diversify. When you hear about diversification, if you're talking to your financial advisor, maybe you're a CPA, and they're talking about diversifying your funds, well, there are many different ways that you can diversify. I mean, if you have your 401k or you have an IRA at a traditional brokerage like a Fidelity, Schwab, Merrill Lynch, Prudential, those are all familiar to most of us. Those of us that have those accounts at brokerages like that, when they're talking about diversifying, they're talking about diversifying in different stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The beauty of a self-directed IRA is that you can have part of your funds in the stock market at Fidelity, Schwab, wherever you have it, and you can have part of your funds at Vantage or investing in alternative assets that
So it
have low.
doesn't have to be all or nothing. You
Doesn't have
you
to be
can
all or nothing.
you can diversify the risk, you can split it up, see what performs, you can keep 25 or 50% of it with your financial planner, you can move 25 or 50%. Well, and I think what's really interesting for me, because I'm just going to focus on the real estate aspect of it, is being able to buy real estate using your down payment from your self-directed IRA. So you're taking 25 or 30% of your sale price for your property, and you're able to get a loan for the rest of it, and you're able to own property in a qualified asset, so you're not taking taxes on it. And that's how I got interested in this, is how can I not get taxed today, but create a retirement revenue stream and asset for the future. So how come more people don't know about self-directed IRAs or what they are?
Yeah. So, and I'll touch back on that investment strategy here in a second because there are so many parallels to most of the people on this call with being involved in this industry and having different strategies and maybe already investing in real estate, but paying taxes on that out of a tax deferred account. So I'll go into
Okay.
that in a minute. But your question, which is one of my favorite parts of this conversation, is why do more people not know about this? I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the 50 years ago, it's hard to believe it was only 50 years ago, 1974, the government created IRAs for us, for Americans, for many reasons, but mainly because they realized that our life expectancy was growing. People were outliving their pensions, or maybe some people didn't have pensions, and Social Security certainly was not going to be able to sustain everyone, right?
Right.
So they created these tax deferred accounts, individual retirement accounts, but to incentivize us to save, let's be honest, Americans in general are really bad savers. Part of it is because we didn't get that financial literacy. We didn't learn it in school. We all grew up in different upbringings, different households. Some of our parents talked about money, some didn't. We all have a very unique story and a relationship with money. So we just can't all assume that everyone's going to follow the rules and save and pay ourselves first. That was the government's way of protecting us and themselves and getting their taxes also. But creating these accounts for us and dangling that carrot of tax incentive. The only way to get us to save is to add that tax incentive, right? So
Right.
we've had these retirement accounts for 50 years, but back in the 70s, all of the companies that applied to be these custodians, the government required that us, Shay and Sean, if you're going to invest your money, you're going to save your money into these accounts, you need a custodian to protect your money. So the custodian like Vantage, Fidelity, Schwab, all of these companies, back then, all of the companies that applied to be custodians were the banks and financial institutions who also happened to be invested in the stock market. So for 50 years,
Ah,
we have been hearing this message because the banks and financial institutions have the loudest voice in the financial industry, right? So I never heard about a self-directed IRA. I never heard about alternative investing. Most people haven't because we have our money in financial institutions that have their motivation is to have our money involved in the stock market because they're selling us products from Wall Street, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. So they're trying to sell us their products. And the message that we have gotten for so long is stock market start. When we think of a retirement account, we think of the stock market. But since day one, since these accounts were created, the government has always allowed us to invest our money in any asset we want, except for two. It's a very long list, short list of what we can't invest in, which are life insurance policies and collectibles, because collectibles are a subjective value. But really anything, I mean, everything that we're talking about today, we've always been able to invest our money. We just didn't know we could. So 20 years ago, maybe roughly 20 years ago, when alternative investing really started to take off, companies like Vantage and alternative companies really started popping up because there were investors who were more savvy and wanted to find a solution to their problem, which is what we do, is solve a problem for people. If someone does not want to invest all of their money in the stock market and they have other opportunities, like you just mentioned, Sean, you have real estate opportunities or whatever, wherever you think you can have a greater gain, an alternative investment company is the way that you do that. We haven't heard that message because the banks and financial institutions they're kind of pounding us with that message
and
that our
they're
money to
picking
be
the funds and then collecting the fees or whatever they're doing in order to, yeah,
right.
cool. So what different types of investments are you able to make with self-directed IRAs?
Really, it would be a whole other hour conversation for me to list all the things that we can invest in. It really is an endless list, an array of different things. But the most common are real estate investments. I want to also be very clear too. I think the wheels turn sometimes for people. They get excited and say, oh, I have my eye on, or I want to buy my son a property, or I have my eye on this property down the street.
Right.
And we want to, it is not for you to live in. It is an investment property. Very easy to kind of grasp what those rules are that the government has set. And we have resources on our website that can show you that. But it truly is an investment property. So real estate is the most popular. And it's, like I said, like commercial, land, residential. It can be a buy and hold rental. It can be a fix and flip. So any type of real estate investment you want, you can even partner with someone on a real
Okay.
estate investment with your IRA money. You
Yeah.
can partner, with someone else put your money into a real estate fund. You can loan your money. You can be a private lender. You can be the bank with your IRA money. Now, keep in mind, if you're sitting here and you don't have an IRA and you have an old 401k, when I'm saying the IRA, you can take that old 401k that you have at wherever that bank is. Sean, you went through that process,
Yep.
right? I went
Yep.
through that process too. It's so easy. Whether you want to bring in part of your money or all of your money from that 401k, no fees, no taxes, no penalties. I'll keep reminding you of that as well. Truly, guys, it's so easy. If you want to move either a portion or all of any account that you have at another brokerage to do alternative, you can do that. You can loan. So where I'm getting at is you can loan your IRA money if you want to be more of a passive investor and you don't want to own a property. And then I would say the third thing is private entities. So you can invest in startup companies. You can invest in your friends' businesses that they want to start, restaurant chains or whatever it is. I mean, the options are really endless. So I'd say those are the most popular assets. I mean, precious metals, like you said, cryptocurrency, that's for a whole nother,
Another
you know,
whole
type of,
nother do.
savvy
Part
investor.
two, part three, part four,
Yeah,
maybe.
but the thousands of people that we've helped and clients that we've helped over the years, those are really the main assets that we manage, and that the staff here is so knowledgeable in real estate transactions in general and lending and how all of those work. So, yeah.
Now, do you guys only help residents of Arizona, or are you able to partner with people who live in other states?
No, so we are a national company, actually an international company. We're a national company.
Nice.
Anybody in the country can invest with Vantage. You can have an account here at Vantage, and you can partner or you can do deals in any state. You can be in Florida and you can find an investment property in Ohio, and you can move part of your money out of your IRA to purchase or whatever you want to do with that property in another state. You can
And you can
truly
live in one state